Was that just 19?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was near the end.
So, I'll read more. And they gave Hebron to Caleb as Moses had said, and he expelled from there the 3 sons of Anak. But the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites who inhabited Jerusalem. So the Jebusites dwell with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. And the house of Joseph also went up against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. So the house of Joseph sent men to spy out Bethel. Then, or the name of the city was formerly Luz. And when the spies saw a man coming out of the city, they said to him, "Please show us the entrance to the city, and we will show you mercy." So he showed them the entrance to the city, and they struck the city with the edge of the sword. But they let the man and his family go. And the man went to the land of the Hittites, built the city, and called its name Luz, which is its name to this day. Should I just keep going?
Yeah.
However, Manasseh did not drive out the inhabitants of Beth Shean and its villages, or Tanakh and its villages, or the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, or the inhabitants of Ibleam and its villages, or the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages, or for the Canaanites were determined to dwell in that land. And it came to pass, when Israel was strong, that they put the Canaanites under tribute, but did not completely drive them out. Nor did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer, so the Canaanites dwelt in Gezer among them.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's kind of like I know there's a lot in there, but what seems kind of like the main gist of it?
Driving all the people out.
Yeah.
Winnie.
Who? Winnie.
The inhabitants that are there,
Who are they?
the others.
Right, I know there was a lot of names there, but think of like a name that's like always mentioned. It's pretty popular in the Old Testament. You hear about it.
Canaanites.
Yeah, there you go, right? The Canaanites. Again, a charge, right? That there is no evidence of Israelites living in the land of Canaan. Now I want to point this out, because I want to be honest, that in my studies and the archaeologists that I'm studying, they'll come out and say, there's no artifact that 100% bulletproof proves everything in the Bible. But what they do say is that there is nothing you will find that will contradict what the Bible says. Meaning you won't find an archaeological find that says, oh no, we have to stop because we previously thought this about a story in the Bible, but this totally shatters that. There's nothing you will find that will do that. They will always just lend credibility to the biblical narrative. Always. They will always work with it, never against it. So I want to throw that out there, right? Because like I said, it's not like, oh, this just proves everything, right? Are you going to find an archaeological find that proves God? Probably not, right? Wouldn't think so. But so just know these things, they will not be a roadblock in the Bible. So, okay, so in the ancient world, they had these things called a stele, or a stela, depending on how you pronounce it, right? I always heard stele, S-T-E-L-E. There's just a big stone, right? By now you should know everything's pretty much written on a big stone. or papyri. So a stele was always kind of dedicated to some type of ruler, a king if you were an emperor, and some type of military campaign that they just had, and they were successful. So this find is called the Merneptah stele. Merneptah was the Egyptian pharaoh. Okay, found in Thebes. They date it to about 1219 BC. A stone monument with hieroglyphic inscriptions describing campaigns of Pharaoh Merneptah against Libya and Canaan in the late 13th century BC. In the section about Canaan taking place in the year 5 of his reign around 1219 BC, the text mentions that the reign of Canaan was plundered. The cities of Ashkelon, Gezer, Minoam, were conquered, and that, catch this, and that the seed or grain of the people of Israel were destroyed. So remember, this Pharaoh, Merneptah, on this stele, he's talking about his campaign in where? Canaan. And when he's talking about his victories in Canaan, he talks about destroying the seed of Israel. And this is actually like taken from the stele. This is like an exact quote, if you will. Canaan has been plundered into every sort of woe. Ashkelon has been overcome. Gezer has been captured. Yanoam is made non-existent. Israel is laid waste, and its seed is not. Right, that's actually like a, not paraphrasing, but what some of the text, if you will, from the stele. This is the earliest widely acknowledged inscription mentioning the name Israel. Although alternative explanations have been suggested, the hieroglyphs and the context clearly demonstrate that it refers to the people of Israel of the Bible, which is the only known Israel in ancient history. Again, there's those Israelis over there, and then there's that Israel. So it's not a matter of, well, what if it was that other tribe, or what if it was that, no, there was Israelites, that's it, right? One people group that went by that name in the ancient world. Let's see. The Israel section of the inscription spells out the name Israel with Egyptian hieroglyphs. Then is followed by a symbol signifying that the word refers to a group of people, not a location. That's key, right? Because we want to know these are people. These are the Israelites. This isn't just a place. The reference to Israel as the only people mentioned in the region demonstrates that the Israelites were the dominant group of people in Canaan, right? Because at this time, the Bible says that they began to drive people out, right? That they took over the land. So again, and even on the stele, it just mentions them in the Canaanite section, right? Indicating they were the dominant group there. There might have been some others where we actually read, because they don't actually drive them all the way out, right? Like they were supposed to. So again, no evidence of Israel in the land of Canaan. The stele suggests otherwise. And again, this isn't a biased source, because this is an Egyptian stele, right? This is their Pharaoh talking about his campaign. And he says, yeah, I went in there, went into Canaan, and I killed Israel. I destroyed the seed. So no one can say, well, that's just a biased source. No, this was an Egyptian Pharaoh, right? This wasn't one of the heroes of the faith of the Old Testament. So we'll go ahead and stop there for tonight. If you have any questions or anything like.
So with that passage that you just read, he was saying that he went in and destroyed the Israelites?
Yeah. Pharaoh Merneptah, he was just talking about his campaign in Canaan. He's talking about his victories on the stele.
Okay.
And he says that we went in to, it says Ashkelon, Gezer, and Yanoam, and we killed all these different people groups, and then he mentions how they wiped out Israel in Canaan, right? Because again, we're trying to prove, no, the Israelites were in Canaan. Because that's a critique of one of the wandering passages, if you will, that.
So this is before? Is this after they go in? After the wandering?
Yeah, because they're in there because, like I said, it mentions that, it just mentions, when it's talking about Canaan, when he's in Canaan, it just mentions Israel, meaning they're the more dominant people group there in the land at that time.
Okay, so this is like after they've kind of taken over the most.
Yeah.
Okay. But then is there any like correlation to go with them getting beat by the Egyptians? I don't know.
You mean from Israel's point of view?
Yeah.
Like an archaeological find or in the Bible?
Or even just archaeological find, because I don't think there's one in the Bible.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't see how that would. That may just bolster the claim, but I don't think it hinders it at all. Right? So, any last comments or questions? Nothing so far? All right, someone want to close in prayer?